Okay, how you doing? This is me, Zacchaeus, and I'm going to make a story, talk about a story about the Afrika Bambadaata. I just saw Lovey T. I saw a board interview. I didn't start watching the story, the guy who's following this thing, and I want to get. I wish I had my computer. Target didn't have when I went to Target, and I saw the boycott of transgender bathroom thing by the NRG building. I didn't get my charger. Hopefully somebody I know in the neighborhood can go to the Micro Center in South, in by the Galleria area and give me a charger so I can go back on my computer. Alright, how y'all doing? Alright. The Afrika Bambadaata scandal, I don't know what to think. This is an update. I just saw Lovey T, and I'm glad Lovey T chopped it up. One thing, I could have listened to the Star thing, but I didn't feel like listening to all the things, you know what I'm saying? But she chopped it up real good to understand where we're coming from. And even though me and Lovey T 2002, or Lovey T, to be Lovey T 13, to 213, I still subscribe to her channel. It's usually when I have a grudge for somebody that did me wrong, but somebody, it's just that Lovey T, it's just like, we don't, the grudge is not there. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing she don't understand, even though we had problems on Facebook and then on YouTube, I had to give her props. She is a good news reporter, okay? So if she watching my channel, you got one, even though we had beef, for some reason, I just like looking at your channel. I don't know what it is. I usually do it to anybody that acts like an enemy. I don't do that, but for some reason, Lovey T. Ever since I, first watching her in 2013, actually 2012, that's when I started to like her. And then when I got on YouTube, started doing my YouTube channel, started doing my vlogs. That's when I start to, say so. It's not an issue. But we'll go back to Afrika Bambadaata. I don't know what to think. Because the two guys and more people coming up. And yeah, it could be conspiracy theory, don't get wrong. Because when Michael Jackson was accused of child molestation, later on found out that these things were false. And even Corey Feldman said he would never do that. And his career was sexual abuse by those in Hollywood. And that goes on. That's the one thing. And blame Michael on it, okay? But this Hollywood child abuse, sexual abuse goes on in Hollywood. It's a dark secret and I'm glad that I'm glad I did not become a child star, because you never know. I'm gonna show you my story. Due to that, I can relate to it. And I'm not making this up. When I was 17 or 16 years old, probably 20 years ago, excuse me, 97, 96, around that time, I was trying to become a star. And there was one lady, she was on Black pages, we have Black Houston pages. She was a model, and I talked to her, and she was upset with me because I interviewed her for a class, and I felt, that I wrote the paper, whatever. And she didn't talk to me since then. And so I try to go with the mainstream, mostly Coco white-owned model agency, but you have to require all that stuff, training, all that stuff. Like one particular model agency in the gallery area that I'm trying to talk to and get in their acting class, hopefully this June. And I said, well, let me stick to black business. And one particular man, I called the mama house, which is a shock at any talent agency. The mama kind of act weird on the phone, gave me this man's number. And he was out there in the Montrose area. The Montrose area is known for gay people there, but I'm looking at career. I don't care, gay, straight, whatever. And there's pedophiles that come in every doggone, empathize, whatever, every doggone orientation. Like, for example, the Target, and I said that I have mixed views about this, but I do kind of agree with the Target protest, is because even they do allow transgender men who are turning to women coming to the restroom. You have men who are to straight up don't dress like that, or either pretend, who might try to harass the girls, little girls or women, or try to, rape them in the restroom. So that's a scary thing. But the reason why I brought this up, because I talked to that man. There's a brother, and he was on Black Pages here in Houston. I forgot what his name is, agency. And I'm talking about my career. I'm 17 years old. So that was 1997. 1996 I turned 17. So around by that time, 97. I was almost 18. Around by that time, I'm just trying to remember if I was in sophomore or junior that year. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because inappropriate actions happen on the phone. I never told nobody this. Because it is, like Bobby was saying on his video, how can you say a grown man molest you, or... And I've been sexual harassed at school from men who claim to be... not men, boys who claim to be straight, calling me gay, touching my anal area, trying to make out with me, and, growing up. And even when I was in school, in elementary school, the boys... we had straight up a step up sound or whatever we had to play, and while we had to change, the majority of the boys when I was in 5th grade tried to see what my underwear looked like. Okay, so you understand that I have the attitude. I do not want to buy into the masculinity because it's based on I want you to live for me and I won't harass you type of thing. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't care if people say I'm feminine or masculine. You know what I'm saying? And my dad being rude and mean to me about that. Okay? So going back to the situation. Back at that, and I never told my grandmother, I never told my grandfather, I never told my dad this. I'm 17. I'm not even an adult yet. The brother asked me on the phone, have I ever been a virgin before? Or I'm still a virgin. And I was shocked at that question, because I'm talking about my career. I'm not talking about my sex life. I'm not talking about having sex with a girl or a guy. I'm talking about, being a singer, actor, model, so I wouldn't have to be doing this at 36 years old right now. And I told myself, okay, well, I don't know what it was, and it startled me, but I talked to my dad, and I didn't mention this. I said, well, can you go by? I said, no, I ain't going to that gay area, I said, Dad, this is a black-owned business. I'm trying to become a singer, actor, model. No, I'm not going there. So, but I never told this secret. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because that dude has ties to the entertainment industry. And here, Corey Feldman, to hear the stories that happened with Stephen Collins, to hear, molesting the girls, okay, before the Bill Cosby scandal came out, to hear This is Richard Afrika Bambadaata, and remember, I might hear Aaliyah's story with R. Kelly, to hear Chris Stokes' story. To hear the what's his name? The light-skinned guy. What is the light-skinned guy name? The bald head. Well, not the one, not Lil Fizz. The real fair-skinned yellow guy. Raz B. To hear them talk about their stories, I cannot. Of course, the Michael Jackson situation, I did agree with Michael Jackson that he was innocent. Because this man, he has a weird life, and he was trying to be a child in an adult's body. Okay? He was too gullible. He did not know his place. So, and to have Corey Feldman defend him to this day while he's dead, and have the Latino guy that was Galvin to come out and say after he had died that it was all a false story. I knew it. But to this situation, I'm questioning Afrika Bambadaata. I don't care. I understand. I'm glad that you made hip-hop. And I'm glad that you was a champion. But you cannot be two things at the same time, bro. If you did do this to this, you had to come out and tell the truth. Because I'm sorry. To have more of these, the guy crying on there, to have all the, these people, you got to understand. And that's why I'm questioning this. And I never told nobody this secret. That man asked me on the phone when I was 17 years old, am I still a virgin? And you don't ever ask a 17-year-old that question. A grown man. So, and I'm thinking that he was asking, when I meet you, we might have sex. You see what I'm saying? Either you gonna do it with a woman or man, whatever. And I'm not thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I had sexual feelings when I was a teenager. All teenage guys, you know, the girl that in high school they want to have sex with, whatever. But I'm not talking about having sex on the spot, having sex, you know what I'm saying? I'm not looking to have sex with an adult at the time. And that's why when Corey Feldman said that was a Hollywood secret, and if he come out and reveal the people, it's going to be hell to pay. And he's actually right. The big time, I would like to know who these people, famous people are in Hollywood, the directors who are doing this, because they have no reason to be in Hollywood. They should be locked up. Of course, I believe that Bill Cosby should be locked up, but lock these other folks too, including Steve Collins. Stephen Collins, the one from Seven Heaven. Don't sit here and try to, I understand, Stephen Collins, you're crying about the situation, but you were 37 years old when you did this crap. You know what I'm saying? I'm 36 years old. I'm not interested in no minor. I want adults. I want women. You know what I'm saying? Not little girls, and definitely not little boys. So, so I have to question Afrika Bambadaata, because you're telling this a conspiracy theories, but Poppy, the light skin, the high, I don't know if he's a Puerto Rican or Afro-Latino or either a mix or whatever. You know, of course, yes, we don't say I don't know if he's part Latino, part, but the stuff he's saying, I think he's a killer, a gangster or something. But he ain't talking. I mean, he not talking no bullshit on his interview. He's not talking about that. He actually telling the straightforward that this man molested him. And one thing that say Levity is correct. Back in the 80s and 90s, this was a taboo. Okay, Oprah Winfrey, it took her to a long time. I did not know about Maya Angelou. We later on found out that Dark Danvers, you know what I'm saying, we can go all detail. A lot of people were sexually exploited, sexually abused. And back in those days, while I'm a liberal to this day, you could not, it was the children the seen not to be heard time. You could not protest against an adult when they did you wrong. There goes with the physical abuse, with all the sexual abuse, and name calling, and verbal abuse, and everything. That's why I'm not too much authority type figure person. I believe everybody deserves people besides authority. You see what I'm saying? Because people in those days could take advantage of children based on them old school values. Of course, authority supposed to be there, but they're supposed to respect those below them as well. You see what I'm saying? So, for example, and I get tired of people bringing my faith into this because I'm a convert to Catholicism. But did you know that sexual abuse rampantly happens in Protestant churches? It's not reported on the news. And the reason why I mentioned the video, what video that I talked about this? Y'all know, if y'all watch me all this year, I talked about this. I talked about that as a Pentecostal minister. I think it was an Afro, no, not Afro. He was a so-called white Hispanic, okay? Pastor Leyva, Mario Tony Leyva. He was a Pentecostal minister who carried a Bible in his hand, and he had 20 boys, and he admitted to molest 100 boys. There was not a Catholic priest. This was a minister who fire, brimstone, you going to hell type one. You think Bishop Long stories is new? No, but y'all lost. I read this when I was reading about my faith. I read this story from Priests and Pedophiles by Philip Jenkins, who actually revealed that the Protestant minister sexual abuse scandal is a whooping % compared to the Catholic Church scandal. But the news media does not put it out there because their idea is to try to tell the Catholic Church to get rid of the sub requirement, which is a doctrine, it's a discipline. Also to try to get women priests. You know what I'm saying, and all this other stuff, okay? Also, I would like to know that this failed to report this. This is a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant country. So if you're not, when I mention white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, remember many Italians and Irish were Catholic at the time. You have those right now who are Protestant now. And when they came here, they were persecuted by white Anglo-Saxon Protestant people. They were not even considered white in the country, even though they were European, Caucasian descent. And they could, one period of time, come marry black folks. Yeah, it's like Martin Luther King's grandmother was Irish. American, yes. And that's why I see why his father was anti-Catholic. Yeah, that's why he changes from Martin Luther Senior. And like Martin King's name is not even really Martin King. It's Michael Little. But they changed. His father changed it when he went to go see Martin Luther, who was the founder of Protestantism, and he was anti. Martin King Jr. was trying to work with Catholic priests and bring the bridge between Catholic leaders and Protestant leaders. His father was against that, but since it was a civil rights movement, he kept it hush hush. But his mother, Martin King's Martin King's father's mother was an Irish white woman who married a black man. You know what I'm saying? And so at that time, Irish and a lot of black, and I got Irish in me too, but my first grandmother was a white Irish in English. Okay, she wasn't, and she probably was a Protestant, even though her grandmother was Irish. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people, Irish, like Muhammad Ali, his Irish ancestors did not rape. They married a free black woman. You know what I'm saying? He married, back in those days. So Irish and Italian, like in Creole, Louisiana, where I mix with Creole, a lot of Creole women marry Italian men. They don't talk about that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of Italians went to New Orleans. Before Katrina, I met people who are Italian, and I met sisters and brothers who are Italian of all different shades. You know what I'm saying? Got Italian in their blood. So I'm not going to detail that. But point is, this country is a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant country. Of course, they're going to talk bad about Catholicism in shape or form. So that's why, like in the South, this is very Protestant down here. Okay, except for Louisiana, but in Maryland. But usually in Texas, except for Mexico, which is not every Latino is Catholic. You have Protestant and Latinos as well. But, it has a Catholic presence because it should be born in Mexico. But a lot of white Anglo-Saxon Protestants came here and took over Texas. But going back to this issue, that when I became a Catholic, I was aware of the scandals. But I never put a priest on a pedestal. I was one of those who actually believed, just like St. Paul says in Corinthians, a steward, even though I later on until I started reading the scriptures, the steward has to be proven trustworthy in chapter 4 of Corinthians 4. So I'm not the perfect one. Y'all see my imperfections on this channel, but I do read the scriptures and I read my Catholic apologetics in the defense of the church on the scripture level. And, you know what I'm saying? So, but like, that's the bigger thing. Many of those people back then, whether they're Protestant, Catholic, whether Jew, whatever, because it happens. And we got rabbis who, not all rabbis, but we got rabbis who molest children too. You have Jehovah's Witness. You have stories that, I'm bringing out all this. You have Jehovah's Witness. Not all Jehovah's Witness, but the reports it was a Mexican man who was Jehovah's Witness. He was in California where he would meet the family and try to preach them and break the boys that he was trying to preach to in the house. And he admitted he went to Mexico to try to run from the law here in the United States. So this sex abuse scandal in the religion is not only a Catholic issue. You have different religions. And like, for example, it was a brother. He was a youth minister. Yeah, who was a Protestant, African American descendant man, Protestant, who was raping. I think the church beat the crap out of him. Okay, so this is nothing new, y'all. Okay, but and I'm glad that in 2007, Prime Time or the 2020 mentioned Protestant sex abuse scandals that the media failed to report. And they went all over colors, okay? And then I was watching a Hispanic man from California. I think he lives in Texas. He was accused of molesting one of the white girls. He was a Protestant. He wasn't Catholic. Protestant. He was in Tennessee. All these folks in his church were defending. He found to be guilty of molesting white girls that he was at his church. So, I mean, I wish that people stop because of the celibacy situation in Catholic Church. People attack that, but you have pedophiles in Protestant. And then one thing I reached on Pastor Mario Leva, or Tony, whatever her name he used. This man would use that verse in, that's what I was talking about, the Jamal Bryant situation, about the so-called, the hoes ain't loyal, and people's bringing that verse up. Psalms 05 about my prophets touched not, anointed, not touched whatever, and they was talking about Jacob, Abraham, and the other guy on there was not talking about, because in James chapter 1, not James, First John talking about we all united, and Jesus do let you know about false prophets. Don't matter, you know what I'm saying. So that people who use it, but in Protestant fundamentalism, they do use it to scare you. When a Protestant minister do something wrong, he'll use it to scare you. You know, I think that God gonna punish you, when in fact that's a misinterpretation of Psalms 105. So, but anyway, going back to what I'm saying, that back in those days, you better not talk about a leader of the community. You cannot talk about a parent. These people took advantage of their authority as stewards in the community, and not everybody did. But that's why I have a liberal mindset. I'm not all that conservative, you know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I have a different persona in life. I mean, let me let you know, when I did convert to Catholicism, if you want to bring up my religion situation, the only abuse that I dealt with was spiritual abuse, like I did when I was in Protestant, you know what I'm saying, with Protestant family members, whatever, spiritual abuse. And I knew the Catholic Church did not believe that, okay, because many folks in our parish had left that parish and went to another. But the old man was so rude, and I was so used to hearing that from my Protestant upbringing, conservative Protestant upbringing, being rude. And I remember at 14 years old, I went off on my priest. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Okay, so I'm letting you know that I'm not one of them people who would sit there and say, "Oh, no, I do test everything. Whole was good." Okay, so that's what St. Paul said in Thessalonians, and you know what I'm saying. So therefore, I knew one thing. Sometimes children are not always dumb. And I've always been told, if someone is rude and belligerent, I don't care what they are, they're not coming from a good place. If I act that way, I know it's wrong. Don't think it's different when it comes. That's why I get mad about parents mistreating their kids, that type of thing. Yes, okay. And even I have dealt it. But going by what I'm saying is that with Afrika Bambadaata, I cannot sit here and say that he did not do it or he did do it. It is very confusing to believe that he did not do it. Did not do it with these men talking. In one instance, it could be a conspiracy. I'm not gonna say that these men are false, because remember, and I'm gonna say this ties to what I did when I bashed Kendrick Lamar. I was on Twitter and I brought up NY you all should be lynched. And he mentioned Afrika Bambadaata, and KRS One in his song, and I mentioned I shared his performance on Twitter. I mean, that brother looks scary, but he's a good rapper. Okay, he's a true conscious rapper. And it's like, soon as I did that, that's when this scandal about the Afrika Bambadaata came in. And let me let you know that I'm not saying these men, Mr. Savage and Poppy, is wrong, because seem to be, we'll be honest, seem to be telling the truth. But I also have to understand that, and I'm bringing to this situation. Remember, the rap industry is not like it used to be. So that's why I'm going to bring this up. Hip hop was very clean. Hip hop, you could play around your kids. Hip hop was very family oriented. You didn't hear bitch, hoe, fuck, nigga, this and all the other stuff in their lyrics until NWA came in and Two Live Crew and folks followed Therefore Records. And remember the white man who came out and said in a hidden video that the record industry and the prison industry was trying to put minorities in jail with this gangster rap. That's why they promote it. And then the next thing you see, Insco Records signed with Death Row Records. Okay, why this Snoop Dogg about him dissing Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't like Arnold Schwarzenegger when he in California, when he did took wins. At the same time, Snoop Dogg with that gangster buffooning. I know he's a gangster, and one thing I do respect, true gangsters over studio gangsters. But at the same time, while you got that money, you could have claimed you act. You know what I'm saying? You claim to be actors in the community and not be the jigaboo, buffoon, savage. Because that's exactly what they made you when they made gangster rap. Okay. to be very popular. Because remember, Will Smith and MC Hammer and Farley MC and Big Daddy Kane, and they couldn't sell records because of this gang. LL Cool J, he went on gangster. He got to be more sexualized in his music. That's why he did it again. He went talk like that, on his first when he started rapping, and so he had to give it tough. And Mama Said that was not a bad song, but he had to show a little bit of it. Remember the clothing change, kind of see him a little gangster look. Even new kids on Pop Block, when they was in 93, they started to look more gangster-like. You know what I'm saying? So that's why. And I remember we was wearing baggy jeans. I didn't sag my pants, but I wore baggy jeans and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Trying to imitate the gangster look. And my grandparents were like, no, and I said, no, let me, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, let you know. So that's why I understand that Afrika Bambadaata will say it's conspiracy theories, because have you noticed they have always go after the good ones in the industry? We had the Michael Jackson situation. You had Whitney Houston. I do believe that she was killed now since her daughter died, the same doggone thing. And you had this Prince situation. You know what I'm saying? And, you had the, O.J. Simpson. He was on a plane to Chicago when before Nicole was killed. Talking to, you know what I'm saying? They always go at the ones in the community who had done something. Even though Whitney Houston was on drugs and Michael Jackson was on drugs, they always go after the ones. But at the same time, as I'm listening to these brothers talk, I cannot sit here and doubt it could have happened. And going back to my story back in 96 and 97 when I was 17 years old, trying to become a model and actually talk. Because remember, I was 17 going on 18, and I was going to sign a contract. If Dad could take me, I was going to ride the bus, which I was scared to ride the bus at the time. Yes, I was scared to ride the bus at the time. And that's why I was asking him to come take me, because I know my grandfather would go across town to go to Miami. I used to ask my grandma all the time, let's go to the Galleria area to go sign up with Barbazar models, Park Page models. Y'all know if y'all in Houston about that, because I was 13 years old, I was trying to get into the industry. I said, let's start young so I can go ahead and wait for, like right now I'm waiting at 36 years old trying to become so famous. But when that man asked me back in 96, 97 when I was 17, am I still a virgin? Are you a virgin? I started to, and I was appalled. I was like, why are you asking that question? And and a grown man doesn't ask a boy that. So when I hear Carrie Feldman, when I hear the Stephen Collins, and I'm glad that Kevin Feldman, said that Michael Jackson did not do this, and he know him personally, and they both can relate because they grew up as children. They was adults as children. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? And that's why Michael was trying to live like Peter Pan. He had a weird life because what his dad did to him. But at the end of the day, you need to grow up and stop trying to be a child and stop bringing people's kids into your house. At the same time, I blame the parents because they know in the world I can bring anybody, I don't care if they are famous, into a stranger's house that I don't know how to see them on television. You know what I'm saying? You never know. So that's the reason why I kind of, if Michael Jackson was guilty of the situation, not only I'll blame Michael, but I'll blame the parents being that gullible. You know what I'm saying? You don't bring your kids around just celebrity because they're a celebrity. You don't know what they are. They could be a monster. They could be anything. They could kill your kids. You know what I'm saying? So that's why. But the Afrika Bambadaata situation, and I'm saying I don't want to discredit the good things he done in being the grandfather of hip hop. But if you are guilty, man, I'm telling you, you need to come out and tell it and go ahead and face justice. Okay. I don't see why in your career you would mess with little boys if you did. I don't understand. If you are bisexual, gay, whatever, and especially in New York, you have, a community of adults that you can fool with. But kids, for example, R. Kelly, I don't know how the hell you saw attraction in Leah. When that's my age group. She's a couple months older than me. I should be looking at that. I was, if 14, 15 years old, Leah was the thing, that was my girl, you know what I'm saying? I love me some Leah, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? And, when she did Resolution is my favorite song, because she was 20 or 22. I was turning 22 before she died the week after my 22nd birthday, okay? So we both 79 kids, okay? She January 79, in summer 79, so which was in August. I'll go ahead and make my birth month. But, she died a week after my birthday. Okay, so that right there, you know what I'm saying. But to a grown man, or all them fine sisters and honey love and all them Via Vixens who are adults, you couldn't get no. Sorry, to say this, God forgive me. You couldn't get no pussy from that. So I understand what I'm saying with Afrika Bambadaata. Why would you fool with children? Well, you got grown folks who know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? You got grown folks, 18 of you can fool with. I don't understand with the fixation with kids. You know, like for example, the fire crushed stots who sleep with teenage boys, or the same thing with the men who sleep with teenage girls or whatever. You had like I feel sorry for the Latino woman who's in her 20s now, who was sexually abused by the female coach that Latino. They went to Mexico. Y'all know I'm talking about in California. She's exposed to on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? She was a assistant principal. I don't see if the coach, if she was into women so much, you got a bunch of fine Latina young women, not teenage girls, to go fool with. I don't understand why you would pick on this girl, a middle school girl. And I want to know why, to the parents, why they let her go to Mexico with this this coach. You don't know who, from Adam. You know what I'm saying? These days, I understand back in them days, you had trustworthy, trustworthy leaders in the community. You know, there was a mentor to the kids, but these days it's hard to trust that with these folks' intention. You know, like Bill Donahue from the Catholic League was saying, you know, because he fights against anti-Catholicism in the media, and he was using the church scandal as an attack the Catholic Church. He said, well, excuse me, it's more teachers who are molesting children than priests, and that's very true. You hear a story sleeping here, and you know, everywhere you go. So ban public education. You know what I'm saying? No, you shouldn't ban it. You should just screen your and anybody know a predator who's into children will pick any profession where they have access to kids. They can be the pastor, the priest, mentor, you know, some type of leader in the community, teacher, whatever. Anything they have access, daycare provider, whatever. And I'm not saying the people in those professions are sick in the head, but these, you know, wolves in sheep clothing of any secular or religious, look at those professions so you have access to kids. And I don't understand why. I mean, this is sick in the head. You even got police officers who got caught with child pornography, and you know what I'm saying? It's just sad. So that's why I'm saying this, and like I said, I don't understand. And one thing about my faith, in this I want to mention Matthew 13. If you read Matthew 13, if Jesus talk about the wheats and the weeds, the weeds are the repentant and the faithful in the church who's trying to strive for goodness, and the weeds are the unfaithful, unrepentant sinners. They can be the leaders, and they can be the the parishioners. And that was, he was talking about his church having this. And you know, even don't forget, Judas was the bad guy in the main bad guy in amongst apostles. Not all apostles. He didn't go to heaven. You know what I'm saying? And of course, Peter, who was the first pope, did you know, deny Jesus 3 times, but that didn't mean he changed his life around. Paul was trying to kill the Christians. You know what I'm saying? He saw. So I mean, a lot of, you know, one thing, every man is, you know, those people who wrote the Bible were sinners, okay? But you know what I'm saying? But they also repented, which is why they, you know, they're reigning in heaven right now. So that's the reason why I was mentioning that. You know what I'm saying? So when I mentioned wheats and weeds, just you know, the gardener is God, who's taking the wheats with him and burn the weeds into hell. You know what I'm saying? The bad fish, the good fish. So when it comes to these scandals, that metaphor, that parable goes along with this. Just because they're not doing right, don't mean I'm gonna stop believing what's true. You get my point? When we, you know what I'm saying? Like Paul said that we even though we're unfaithful, God is faithful. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I never defaulted my faith. Because I mean, I know people who have been blessed. I met people blessed that was by a minister. Or you know what I'm saying? So therefore, and I heard scandals during that time of a minister in the neighborhood who's Baptist and who's dead now, was doing stuff with inappropriate at the time, and he never got caught. He's dead now. So that's why I'm sitting here that y'all keep bringing it, and I get a feel like that Love T, what she did about the Catholics, because you're in a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant American country that's dominated. We have a Malala president who's a liberal Protestant, by the way, talking about Obama, and he's not anti-Catholic, but you have the conservative ones who are Protestants who are, meaning them are, because they don't like their interpretation be challenged by what we believe in. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why. And they'll bring anything to knock their argument down. You see what I'm saying? If I hated somebody so bad, I will find whatever I can, false stories to knock that person out. That's exactly what they do, or either real story and exaggerate it. So that's exactly what goes on with the anti-Catholicism in America. So that's the reason why. But you have a 1%. If you read the book Priests and Pedophiles by Philip Jenkins, he will let you know it's 1% of Protestant ministers who are just guilty of the same crime in the news media's round report. But then back in 2007 in March, ABC primetime mentioned these Protestant ministers guilty of the same crime that the pedophile priests who not represent the whole population. And I always tell people, not every priest is a pedophile. That's like saying every white person is a part of who's saying every black person sell dope. You know what I'm saying? You make a huge generalization like that. So even I had been guilty when I felt anti-Protestant when it came to Protestant evangelicals. You have those who are friends who love the Catholic Church, who just don't believe their beliefs, and I will sit here and think, oh, he's anti-Catholic. Give me away from them. Give away from them. You know what I'm saying? I don't. You know what I'm saying? And I used to do that. And that one particular person who was not anti-Catholic, who actually admired my faith, and I thought this person was, because I had a very conservative Protestant phobia. There in Houston, you mention anything your Protestant precepts of your interpretation, I'll walk away from you. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's but I met people who actually love the church, admire the Pope. You know what I'm saying? For example, you had Kim Davis, who was an ex-Catholic. Her mother and father is, but she, she don't believe the church beliefs now. She met with Pope Francis when he came into the United States, and he gave her props for standing up for traditional marriage. So, you know what I'm saying? So, So, therefore, you have a lot of that going, and even, I'm not a big fan of the 700 Club. I like the conversion stories, but I'm not a big fan of Pat Robertson. But you even have Bill Donahue, even though that I have different views on a personal level. Bill Donahue's with the Catholic League, which I used to support the Catholic League for a long time. They are friends. You know what I'm saying? Even Jerry Falwell, who I didn't like, were friends with Bill Donahue from the Catholic League. So, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just letting that I realize that there are evangelical Protestants who do not have the Jack Chick persona. You know what I'm saying? The Jimmy Swagger anti-Catholic belief system, who actually admire the church, don't believe certain things, and actually sometimes encourage some of us who are in the church to go to church, you know what I'm saying, as long as we're there, and learning something about the Lord. So that's exactly what I would like to mention, that I'm glad I brought that up. I'm getting very tired of hearing when you, as a person who's been educated, to know that Protestant ministers are guilty of the doggone same crime. Not all of the ones, and don't get put on news. But when you're white, and even, for example, you had the white evangelical church group going to Africa, molesting the kids there. There was in Oklahoma. Y'all know about it, so I love to talk about that. So, I'm just letting you know, it's sad that people will use the name Jesus to do wrong. But at the same time, this stuff goes on in a lot of cases, no matter what, music industry, whether it be corporate America, it goes in churches, no matter what denominations there is. It goes in schools. So I think we need to be extra careful who we have let our children around. And I think that I'm willing to hopefully find out whether Afrika Bambadaata is guilty, because I admire this man for being the godfather, the grandfather of hip-hop. But at the same time, to have these stories come up and these men crying, these men angry, you know what I'm saying? I just don't understand whether, when the Michael Jackson came, they were people paid, okay? Don't get wrong. I'm glad I read that GQ article about the stepdad of the Chandler guy, who's about my age, who claimed that Michael Jackson touched him back in '93, but yet they found out that the stepdad or the dad was I'll tell you something. Oh, some stuff. You know what I'm saying? They found out that there was some medication that the dentist used. Like if you forget stuff or something, you start to believe it. That, you know what I'm saying? I read that article on GQ magazine in 1994 about Michael Jackson case, and I still had a different persona. And I found later on that the media, like Afrika Jones, who wrote a book about how they explored him, and she was part of the team that explored Michael Jackson and fabricating stories and lying about the case and trying to start mess. That's when I started, you know, I already knew that the man was innocent. One thing about Michael Jackson, he could be weird to people. A lot of us could be weird, but that man was like an innocent person. You know what I'm saying? What I'm talking about when it came to these accusations, you can, you know, one thing, Afrika Bambadaata later on, when Michael Jackson was, soon he was accused, he came from the Neverland Ranch and went on television and told it like it is. He mentioned and you can tell he was pouring his heart out, telling people. But then people were saying, then I'm going to bring this up before I go. I have relatives though because he's like a faggot. I'm like, well, just because the man acts female don't mean that he molests kids. You have straight people like R. Kelly. I heard he's bisexual because even his own brother says that. But you have men who rape girls. For example, the reason why the Target protest is going on, because they're afraid those straight or bisexual men who into young girls go into women and raping them, you know what I'm saying, in the restroom. So, you know what I'm saying? So, that's all I have to say. You know, that's the whole reason why, okay? So, you can't say what other orientation. It's just the individual in the sickness of their mind to even think about doing something with a minor. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand all these adults out there. I mean, and that's why the Afrika Bambadaata is very masculine. Okay, he's not feminism. He's not the Michael Jackson feminism type guy that people would think was gay. And so I'm glad that I'm bringing this up. This man accused of sexual abuse in boys, and the reason why Zulu Nation, whether they knew it or not, or the people in the neighborhood, as probably would say, is because they, once again, like I said about the Michael Jackson case, everybody was, you know, even with Michael Jackson case, his gay friend who produces gay porn, they were linking that to the case when he had nothing to do with the case. You know what I'm saying? They were trying to put the videos that was at that man, the white man who produces, into Michael Jackson's house to try to frame this man. You know what I'm saying? That case was, I think the Jackson family should sue the California state in Santa Barbara for that situation if they can. Michael Jackson, when he left and went to the Middle East, he should have sued, besides getting his rights from Sony, he should have sued the state of California for what they did to him. And the tabloids, who in the news media, they paint him bad. And I was one of the people defending. I mean, I was at Job Corps getting mistreated for defending Michael Jackson. Okay, so and one thing, that it was mostly Latino. So this guy who was a victim of Latino, so you had some Latinos, and you had some brothers and sisters who were mad about the so-called skin bleaching thing. Look, I can give a, sorry, Lord forgive me, I can give a flying fuck if Michael Jackson bleaches skin or not. I don't give a fuck if he turns to purple, green, whatever. At the end of the day, I still had, like I said about Lil' Kim, they ain't do nothing to me. So why would I worry about what they did to their body? You know what I'm saying? Like I said about, what's her name? Tiny Tamika from Escape. You know what I'm saying? T.I.'s wife. Even though I don't condone the permanent eye color move, we got contact lenses, there's nowhere in the world I'm going to sit here and mistreat that woman when she did it to me. Okay? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just get tired of, you know, we was using that scapegoat instead of worrying about the case. Don't worry about what the person do with their personal body. Let's look at the case. Okay? That's what I'm saying. So, that's why, and I just, you know, with the Afrika Bambadaata, with him being masculine, him being, you know, what people think a straight man is supposed to be, that's why some people felt that that he did not do that. You know, for example, when Raz B said that Marcus Houston touched him, when I told this when he came out and on YouTube, him and Ricky Romance, okay, and then later on he denied, and then now he came back and said because he was threatened by his cousin Chris Stokes. Well, When I told his sister about Marcus, she said, oh yeah, Crystal, he got his arch eyebrows. Yeah, I can believe he did it. I mean, arch eyebrows. I mean, I was in Job Corps with a bunch of cholos getting arch eyebrows by the highness, we say, the people say in Spanish, the girls in Job Corps, fine chicks in Job Corps, arch. I'm like, dang, let me get my eyebrows arched by these fine Latino girls in Job Corps. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get a chance because soon as I was about to get there, they were telling the staff was telling y'all, we don't do that in the courtrooms. Y'all stop arching these dudes' eyebrows, okay? So that's a thing in El Paso, Texas. But they don't mean nothing. But Marcus Houston, ever since that allegation, I ain't heard no music from him. Sure haven't. You know what I'm saying? And so when I told Marcus, no, he fine. He would never do that. But just because somebody's fine and masculine to a woman, you know what I'm saying, man? I mean, that sounds good thing. Just because all that don't mean that he could be guilty of that. Because Raz B was talking about it, and I do believe that this was true in a way, because Chris Stokes is not talking no more. We ain't heard nothing from Chris Stokes. Raz B was beaten up in Hong Kong. Raz B has not been the same situation. Of course, you had Lil Fizz and Mario moved on about the brown skin guy. What happened to him, and I know they're trying to do a reality show. When Mario left, they was falling out with each other. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying. So, and then Raz B was Lil Fizz was calling Raz B bitch ass gay nigga. You know what I'm saying? That he was saying his song, they rapping on. Y'all see that YouTube video? So we don't fool with bitch ass gay niggas. I get all the bitches and them and started cuss like that. But that's what he was saying. And you don't get no pussy. That's why you call us gay and stuff like that. I mean, it was just stupid. And I just like, whoa. I just one thing, even though and speaking of I'm glad Poppy mentioned that folks was calling them gay and stuff. And that's just wrong to make fun and make cracker jokes about molestation. One thing I do not laugh about is child molestation. Even when I was dealing with anti-Catholic people who were used to be Catholic in El Paso, Texas, they would bring up, make jokes about the priest molesting. And I said, excuse me, if a priest was molesting someone, even if it wasn't not, I'm talking about individual, I'm talking about the people who are guilty, you don't make fun of molestation. That's sickening. That's why I defended Jada and said it was stupid for white boy LaFleur here in Houston and their brother from Africa who raped her at that party called us on Jada Post. Y'all saw my video about I went on a rant about that, okay? You don't make fun of that, okay? When we were making fun of Michael Jackson raping, they had this with Eminem, his crazy behind. And they had Mad TV did the Thriller version, and they had people like the white dude I talked about on my video, concerned about the little Kim, who worked in Job Corps, who was talking about his pale skin. He wanted to get dark, but make fun of Michael Jackson pale, getting big skin bleacher, and he would make jokes about Michael Jackson doing with the kids. I said, first off, I know that I don't believe that Michael Jackson did it, but if he did or not, I would never make fun of that. That's a sensitive topic. You don't make fun of somebody being raped. You know what I'm saying? Even I feel guilty for laughing at Eric Spears' joke about Stacey Dash. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you made that video about Sarah Palin, how, Azalea Banks made a joke about that, and the next thing, Sarah Palin came back, and then she had, confronted her on Twitter, but no one's not making it, counting Eric Spears accountable for making that joke about, and I was saying, not to text Eric Spears, it was the fact that, okay, well, here, a white woman, she's been, do a false story about, been making jokes about her being raped by a bunch of brothers, calling the N-word, talking about Isaiah Banks with her crazy behind. But then here come a brother making fun of a black Mexican woman, black Latino woman, Stacey Dash, about she get raped by a bunch of dudes. And I'm saying they said that we dehumanize ourselves as people of color. We can make jokes about each other being in those situations, but when it comes to a white woman, we got the white person, we got to protect them. That's what I was saying. So if Eric Spears block me from Twitter because of that situation, I don't care. It's my channel. You should never make that comment. Anyway, but like I was saying, that y'all, I don't say it makes it like and then Poppy is right. It makes you look stupid to make fun of rape and sexual abuse.